Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to tackle a question that's on every coder's mind at some point or another. How can I make this code shorter if it can be done whether you're working on a personal project or contributing to a large-scale application? Writing concise and efficient code is crucial for readability, maintainability, and performance. In this video, we'll explore the various techniques and strategies you can use to shorten your code without sacrificing functionality or clarity. So, why do we want to make our code shorter in the first place? Well, shorter code means less to read, understand, and debug. It also reduces the likelihood of errors and makes it easier for others to collaborate with us. Now, let's dive into some practical tips on how to achieve this. Well, firstly, take a closer look at your variables and functions. Are there any opportunities to rename them or make their purpose more explicit sometimes? Simply renaming a variable can make the surrounding code more concise. For example, instead of using a generic name like data, consider something more descriptive like user profile. Another technique is to eliminate unnecessary nesting. If you have a conditional statement that only contains one line of code within its block, consider removing the brackets and placing the code on the same line as the condition. This can greatly reduce visual clutter and make your code easier to scan. Now let's talk about functions. Are there any repeated blocks of code throughout your project? If so, consider breaking them out into their own separate functions. Not only does this make your code more modular and reusable, but it also reduces duplication and makes maintenance a breeze. Another powerful technique is to use array methods or higher order functions instead of loops. For instance, if you need to iterate over an array and perform some operation on each element, consider using map or for each instead of a traditional for loop. This can greatly reduce the amount of code you write while making it more expressive. Lastly, don't be afraid to use shorthand syntax where possible. Many programming languages offer condensed versions of common operations, such as assigning a value to a variable and then immediately returning it. By leveraging these shorthens, you can often eliminate unnecessary lines of code and make your program more efficient. So, what are from this discussion? Firstly, focus on making your variables and functions descriptive and concise. Secondly, eliminate unnecessary nesting and consider breaking out repeated blocks of code into separate functions. Thirdly, leverage array methods or higher order functions instead of loops where possible. Finally, use shorthand syntax to reduce unnecessary lines of code. And that's it for today's video. We hope you found these tips helpful in making your code more concise and efficient. If you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and consider subscribing to our channel for more programming tutorials and insights. Until next time, happy coding!